Hi, guys. We're here in another episode of 30 Questions with Thriving Women. And we have someone very special here, all the way from Sydney, Bianca King, who, you know what? I have this like super goal to live off one suitcase. And I feel like you've done this so successfully. But yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. We'll start off with one question.
Okay,
Um,
thanks for having me, by the way.
Thanks for
thank
joining
you.
us. We are so excited.
Same.
What is the biggest misconception about you? As I'm sure you've read a lot or heard a lot of things said about you.
Siguro not so much now, but maybe in the past that I'm high maintenance. Yeah, that's one thing. Because I'm really not. And I think I think the one that was most annoying though is that I'm as contrivida in real life as my characters, as the roles that I've played online. It's like for some reason before people can't disconnect what they see on screen from the person in real life. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have to
You're,
explain it to them, by the way?
yeah, I'm not contrabida. I'm fine.
It really depends on what the comment is.
Yeah.
But if I feel like it's not something they should be saying, or maybe like I wanna this sounds not so good, but I wanna like open their minds a bit more
Mm.
and like make them realize that I'm a real person, I'm different, that's not who I am, ganyan. Like there are times when I will take time to like have a conversation with that person, and then there are times also when I just ignore it and smile and then walk away.
I am just curious, would you be able to share some of your own like personal insecurities that, not even specific, but something that I guess because when people see you, they might see like a perfect grid or a perfect life, but I'm sure you don't always feel perfect.
Well, ito siguro physical pinaka-recent. Like I was getting really insecure about my skin. I used to have really good skin at some point in my life, and then it's like up and down, and then it's been down for like a really long time. Yeah, and I was just and Ralph like says like your forehead is bumpy. Like, oh my god, I hate my forehead. So now I actually take better care of my skin now. I go to the derm and get stuff done to my skin.
Yeah.
And I use now more than one product on my skin. I actually have a routine now because before, parang people would say to me like, "How many steps do you have?" I'm like, "I just washed my face. That's it. That's all I
Sir, there.
but now I have like a serum, I have sunscreen, I have moisturizer, I have an eye cream, I have all of these things because I turned 35 last week, and
Wow.
yeah, and like I was like I need to start taking better care of myself because I don't want to age fast.
But yeah, but that's refreshing to know that even you struggle with a few things too.
Oh,
So, Bianca, we are a show about love and relationships. So, I have to ask you, do you agree with the statement, love comes when you stop looking?
love comes when you stop looking.
Because that's like the number one advice that we got during our shows. They're like, stop looking, it'll come. Or the moment they stopped looking, the love of their lives came into their lives.
Yeah, I think maybe stop aggressively looking and just let go. But of course, you always have to keep your doors open, right?
Mm,
Because if you're not putting yourself out there in a certain way, if you're not claiming it, if you're not manifesting it, it's not gonna come to you.
I like that also. Manifest love, guys.
Yeah,
So,
I actually like to tell people that maybe a couple of months after I became single the last time, I wrote in my journal exactly what I wanted, from the height to the race to the hobbies to the. I basically wrote down like what I want in a guy. And then I met Ralph a few months after. And I was like, tick, 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 tick.
check
So,
that.
yeah. And then Isa also said that about Ben. Like, she manifested him, and then she met him like a month after. Yeah.
Ooh.
Although he's lacking a few things now that she manifested it, but it got really close. Same with me. It got pretty close, but of course naman hindi naman perfect, 'di ba?
That's
Yeah.
so magaling though. So, okay, I get the whole writing all the list of all the positive things you want. What about the things that you're not listing, like red flags? How do you spot them?
If it causes you or them or anyone discomfort.
Mm,
Or sorry, not anyone, but I meant anyone very close to you who you trust and respect.
that's a red flag. And
Yeah, I'll tell you guys a story. So, one of my best friends just got a divorce and she was married lang for a year and a half. And then the reason why they divorced is because basically he doesn't appreciate her. So, he doesn't have much patience for her. He doesn't appreciate her quirks, but rather like says that she has to change those things because it's not cool. To make the long story short, I told her, you know what? The first time I met him, when we were with friend B, I told him, I was like, I don't like the way he talks to her, but I'm not gonna tell her because I want her to live out her life the way she should. Parang I don't want to be
mm,
the reason why her life goes a certain way. Parang I was like, they're happy together. Yeah, that's what she says. So if I don't like the way he talks to her, because what I can see is that he's not in love with her. Yeah. And then few months after that, he proposed, they got married. I hosted the wedding. I was in the entourage. But, I always really felt that he doesn't really love her. But I'm not gonna say
Oh,
anything. But
wow. You were such a
and you were
supportive
right.
friend.
yeah, so there. So I finally got to tell her that, you know what, I really didn't like him for you. And I told friend B that I don't like the way he talks to her and treats her. I don't think it's gonna work out. So yun.
Wow.
So yun. As a friend, should I have been the one to wave the red flag and say like, this red flag is here, look at it? Or do you let your friend like live their life the way they want and learn what they're supposed to learn in their
So,
own unique path?
so I think B is usually the right answer. And I don't know if you guys
I know
agree.
what the
Sometimes
right
when
answer
you
is.
yeah, when you suggest something,
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
people tend to push back. Like you give this
yeah.
certain advice and they're like, masala silang no, I'm not gonna do it like that. I'll do it
Mhm,
myself. So it's
mhm.
Or
better
like
to just
listen, or like if you give
yeah,
advice, they're probably gonna do what they really want anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Huwag ka nang makialam.
Just sit back and watch,
Keep
guys.
your thoughts
Hope
to
that
yourself na lang and just be there for them when they need
yeah,
you.
fingers
Yeah.
crossed them they end up in the right place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So it seems like Bianca, you're in a very happy relationship now. What kind of girlfriend do you think were you when you were in your 20s versus how you are in relationships now in your 30s?
Before, I think I was a little self-centered and selfish, and parang I was my priority. Rightfully so. Yeah. Siguro in my early 20s, I wasn't a good girlfriend. Kasi parang I was the type that like wanted to go out and do my own thing without him. So parang why was I in a relationship with this person? I don't know. And then as I got older, I think I became more emotionally stable and mature. And then now in my 30s, I don't know. I'm not perfect still. I'm still pretty self-centered sometimes, but then I know when I'm being that way and I can apologize for it na after. And like,
Hmm.
wow, I was not being a nice person right there. Sorry.
What were your biggest relationship makers and deal breakers like in your past relationships? What were you like looking for, and what certain things made you like walk away?
Relationship, what was that? Deal
Make,
breakers. And
yeah, and makers, like what made a relationship for you?
what made a relationship for me? Doon na lang muna tayo sa deal breakers. Deal breakers. Okay, this was my recent, not recent. This was the last like major deal breaker that I had. Wasn't supportive on a journey that I wanted to go down or go through that was very important to me. So
Yeah.
parang it's like everyone around me understood this and supports me and appreciates what I'm going through, but you don't, then we can't be together. So that's one deal breaker. Another one is I think anger management. Like if you don't know how to manage your emotions, I feel like you're bound to fail because I'm not perfect either. I can't always be the one to baby you and like walk you through this, like we have to help each other and both be mature. Yun, deal breakers. And then the other one is deal maker, gets along with my parents.
That's a good one. That's one of
Mm.
my favorite ones also.
And all of my friends. Yung parang none of my friends have an issue with you.
That is a
That's
good
deal
goal.
breaker.
That's
Yeah.
rare. That's so rare. Friends.
Is it rare, Bea? So,
Mm.
Bianca, it seems like you seem really, really happy with your in your current relationship. Tell us one. How did you meet the one?
He was the best man at Ben and Isa's wedding, and I was a guest because Isa's my friend. And yeah, the guests were like telling us separately that we needed to meet each other. And after he gave his speech, I was like, I need to put myself near this Ralph window. And then, yeah, people pushed us together and we started dancing, and that was it.
I like
That's
a good.
cute.
It's pretty cute. And we have videos of us dancing together for the first time because people were taking videos of us and then they sent it to us after. So it's kind of a nice memory of like how we started drunk on a
Cute.
beach.
Oh, cute.
Those are always the good ones. Like I think when everyone around you knows that you would be suited for each other, trying to push you together,
Yes,
and when
yes.
let go of the stubbornness, like of
Mm.
you thinking, oh, I'm an independent woman just trying to find my own one and I don't need anyone's help or advice, and then giving in. It's like, oh, okay, they actually know me more than you know yourself sometimes.
Yeah, to add to that, like it's extremely difficult to date in the Philippines. Like it's hard to find
Tell us
nice
about it.
girls. Yeah, well, actually, I feel like nice girls there are more. I feel like nice guys mas konti.
Yeah.
What is
Um,
it, Kaya? Why is that, guys? Why is that?
culture. I think a lot of
Mhm.
it is culture. Yeah, I think if you're the kind of woman that's exposed to how other men can be from different cultures,
Mm.
that's when maybe it becomes harder to find someone to really get along with in the Philippines. I find a guy rather.
Mm.
I don't want to get into that so much na kasi baka it might sound like I'm generalizing that guys in the
Yeah,
Philippines are not
Yeah,
good. No,
for sure.
no, it's not
agreed.
that.
Yeah.
It's just that it's really hard to find them.
Yeah.
Rare.
Yeah.
I think as a challenge, we definitely won't go into it too much, but I want to touch a little bit on what you were talking about, Made Mindful, because you started off with a social media page, but I know that there's something more to that, and it is really an expression of how you like to live and your philosophy on, the environment, and I guess would you say really mindful minimalism? And would you be able to tell us a little bit more about this? Because in the Philippines, shopping is such a big thing. What are your thoughts on Made Mindful and where do you see it heading, if you can share with us?
I guess what I can share about it is I started working on it in 2018 because, it was born out of my own need and frustrations
Mm.
about the way people do business. So I just like dreamt up an idea. But what I can share maybe at this point is that packaging was a huge thing for me. So I really made sure that everything that I sell, it's as plastic free as can be, from the product itself to how it gets to you.
Yeah.
I really tried to make everything reusable, recyclable, biodegradable, or compostable, and
Yeah.
then no plastic if I can. I'm
Mm.
trying to think now of like everything that I have lined up, if something has plastic, maybe there's one thing that has like one plastic component,
Yeah.
but everything else is glass, paper, solids, bars. That gives you an idea.
Okay, so how do you pick your next adventure? Like you're doing Made Mindful and then you did other things in the past. How do you know? Do you just go by impulse or do you have like a process of when you know what's next?
Mm, I recently said this also to a friend who was trying to figure out what to do. I said, you just go on living life. Just like do what feels right, experience life, and then one day it's just gonna hit you. Without a doubt in your mind, you will know, like, shit, this is what I was supposed to do. And then you'll feel very passionate about it.
Mm.
You'll be very patient in writing about it, so you know what to do, because you obviously need a plan, right? Like, you need to understand the path you're going to take by maybe journaling, creating an outline, a business plan, mapping things out. When it's the right thing for you, that'll all just come to you.
I know one of your pursuits is cooking. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know you make adobo, banana bread, all in the healthy way possible. A lot.
Not everything's healthy, actually.
Oh, okay,
There are
good.
some that are just,
That's
I
good to
just
know.
they're just meant to be delicious and enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's all.
How did you get into it? And can you tell us a little bit of your like food journey?
Well, this is where it all began. It started when I was really young, and my mom just always used to make me help in the kitchen. So I had that environment at home. And then when did I start cooking? I think it was in my early 20s. I think I started cooking for a boyfriend and the boyfriend's family. Parang that's why I wanted to learn how to cook. Yeah. And then from there I started a blog on Tumblr pa yata dati eh. It
Oh
was a
my
long
gosh.
time ago. It was a really long time ago. And my objective was to just like write down recipes that I just learned or that I want to learn. And then that's what you see now on my blog. So yeah, I've actually been blogging for like siguro mga 12, 13 years na pala.
Wow.
Tagal. There's not a lot of meat right now on my blog because I delete stuff. Yeah, and then there. So it was mainly because I wanted to become a food blogger. That's
Okay.
why I learned how to cook. And then I just loved it so much. And I love to entertain at home. I love to cook for people. So after I finished film school in 2011, I enrolled in CCA to learn how to do things the professional way, or like know the fundamentals of cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, since you mentioned that when you were in your 20s, you cooked for your boyfriend's parents, do you think that's good advice for women who want to impress their partner's family?
Maybe, but just make sure the first time you're cooking, mag-practice ka muna.
Practice first.
Oo.
I love that advice. Practice first, don't do it for the first time.
Tsaka don't try so hard. Like, if there's an opportunity to do it, like, if there's a need, pero don't be like, I'm gonna cook you dinner. And ganon. I think, yeah, I actually can't remember what my situation was, but it was more like food had to be made. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll make something.
Mm. Be
Ganon.
casual. Don't be like, hello, look at this apple pie I made all of you guys.
We have a secret joke that every time one of us cooks like something, it's like, oh, wife material. But
Yeah.
like in reality, you don't need to say it out loud. Just
I want to say it out loud.
what is the best advice you've ever received from anyone in your life?
Ang hirap naman. The best advice I've ever received from anyone in my life.
Kaka-stress ba yung questions namin? Pang
Hindi
Miss
naman, hindi
Universe.
naman. Wait. I think pinag-isipan ko to. Okay, here, I have one. Buy real estate early. When I did. Yeah.
Sound
I
advice.
I got into that game very early. 2000 5? No, 6? No. Sorry, 8.
Okay.
Wow, it's super early. Yeah.
2008. Yeah. Yeah, like way before everything was so expensive that no one can afford it anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
so for anyone who is looking to invest, watch the real estate markets now, because the prices are going to go down again, because not a lot of people have money to buy. So there will definitely be a price correction and adjustment. Yeah.
Listen
And if
up, guys.
if you have some savings or like can borrow from your parents, invest in real estate.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's so, it's a strange thing because like it's something that they don't teach you in school.
They don't teach how to grow money in school. They don't teach you that.
Yeah. So, Bianca, what is the quote that you live by?
A quote that I live by: keep things simple.
Keep
Mm.
things simple. How about the best habit that you've trained yourself to do?
Best habit that I've trained myself to do: list down my expenses.
The things I don't do, I should fine, I'll do it. Fine. Now,
I do it like
papate.
once a week. I'm like a freak with that. I just do it because you can see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like ignorance is bliss, but that's bad. Bad advice. Listen to them, guys. Okay. So, Bianca, do you believe in luck?
Yes, I believe in luck. I believe in karma, blessings. I believe in what goes around comes around. I believe in you get what is coming to you. So
Mhm.
I think it's the general idea of like what you put out there will find its way to you.
Okay, so Bianca, you've
Luck.
had a you've been through a lot in your life. Well, not a lot, but I mean, you've had a lot of different careers, different jobs, or different passions that you do. How do you overcome roadblocks that you've experienced?
How do I overcome roadblocks? Like what? Can you give me an example?
Yes, let's say in the past you didn't get a role for
Mm,
whatever reason,
mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm.
kulang budget mo to make a down payment on a property you want to acquire. Oh, ganun. How do you overcome your roadblocks?
Let go.
See, I
Mm.
Practice
like that advice. Let's go.
the art of non-attachment.
I've heard about this during
Yeah.
Buddhism and detachment, like you
Yeah.
have to let go of certain outcomes. Mm.
Yeah.
Even people, expectations, belongings. And so if you practice the art of non-attachment, it's easier to just move on.
Yeah, I read the book the start of this year. It's an old one by Hawkins, I think was the author. It's just called Letting Go. And at first I was like, it's a bit woo-woo, but then you read it, I'm like, yeah, like you stress about so much things that you can just, just get over it and then just don't worry about it and things are just better for you. Like,
I have two books that will help with this. One is The Daily Stoic, and
Mm.
the
oh
other one
yeah.
is The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama.
So, Bianca, define success.
I answered this also on an interview online, and I said the exact same thing. And when I thought about it, like it's still the same thing. It's being able to sleep 8 hours every day, plus this, and being able to like go to bed and wake up whatever time you want without being stressed about working, like without the stress of like I have to work,
Yeah.
regardless of what income bracket you are, how much you make, what you do. So, for
Mm.
example, a factory worker can have that experience, can have that feeling that
Yeah.
they're just satisfied and happy, and same as a billionaire.
Mm.
So it's really more of like if you don't have that stress na oh my god, I need to work super hard. But again, you're just like happy and content with life. I think that's success. Like wherever you are, like you're just happy with your life.
Yeah, I think that's a refreshing way of looking at success because you see people obsessed with showing how busy they are on Instagram just to prove that they're
Exactly.
busy and successful
And
versus that
and
way of looking
and,
at it.
and how much they have and what they own.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
actually they can be the ones that are pretty unhappy, and I find that unsuccessful. But maybe the ones that have less and don't can't afford those things and don't want them are the
Mm.
ones who are truly successful.
Yeah.
Plus the whole sleep thing. Kasi parang if you're pressured to work, you feel like you have to sacrifice sleep over it. And for me, parang sleep is the most important thing for your wellness. So if you want to stay healthy and you want to be strong, you want to be your best self, you need to be sleeping
Mhm.
8 hours every day.
I am
Agree.
such a believer of sleep now. Before I was my belief was like the whole you sleep when you're dead. And then I read the Why We Sleep book. And the first few pages was like, if you're thinking that sleep is for the dead, you will die. I was like, okay, now I
That's
get
a
it.
good book. Yeah, that's really such a good book. Speaking of sleep, people can actually go to mademindful.ph now already
Okay.
and then sign up for the newsletter. So we made a 12-week workbook on mindful living, and then the first week is all
Super.
about sleep, and it contains links. And for week 2 it's about eating, and then I put a meal plan there, and this was the same meal plan that was used by Rachel Peters when she competed in Miss Universe.
Ooh,
Nice.
Okay.
I'm
Manila
in.
pala nung-
Miss
It's
Universe
like
Bud, I am in.
a grocery.
I have a question on like who are the people that you look up to?
Um, I think the first person that comes to mind, because it's so basic and relatable, I think is Jessica Alba.
Oh
Mm,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
What I appreciate about her is her journey and her willingness to grow and learn and step out of her comfort zone because she wants to do more for herself.
Yep. And I still
Yeah.
remember her film Honey. I mean, who
I
can forget?
Yeah.
Don't forget your roots, where you come from. But yeah, she's done such an amazing job. And you think about it like from, what she's done before and acting or comedy and all that roles that she's done, but then going to like her brand and just being like, okay, no more toxic things in the stuff you put in your body. And she's beautiful. So we can, yeah, someone to definitely look up to.
And she's a mom of 3 kids. And oh, I also look up to Gwyneth Paltrow because she's the CEO of her own company.
I was
We are
gonna say
we
this
are
to you.
group
Yeah.
fans.
I was gonna say this to you because something that reminds me of Made Mindful is something that you see in Goop. And although that's not exactly the same, it's like, oh, why are we not thinking about how we live and all the adornments that come with that?
Because the answer is because I think we're more inclined to go through life mindlessly, and to be mindful you have to learn
Mm.
how to do it. So parang there's a conscious effort to be mindful for that to become your way of life, because it's easier to live life mindlessly and not thinking of like the repercussions, the effects. You just do things because that's what you know.
One of the things that are most important are your relationships. And I'm curious, Bianca, what do you think makes a good relationship? Whether it's romantic, friendship, family, like what makes a good one?
Good communication.
I keep hearing this.
Everything we do, Bea, the advice is always communicate better. Communication.
Naloloka na ako. It's always communication is key. I was like, but
But
sometimes we
Bianca,
have
do you think that there's such a thing as over communication? I feel like sometimes people tend to communicate everything that doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you
of
think?
course. Of course, like you don't need to tell your partner everything. You guys don't need to say everything to each other. Like some things are best left unsaid. But communication, in terms of like if you have a conflict, for example, if you have opposing ideas, then that's when you should communicate sufficiently.
Hmm,
I love that word, sufficiently. Tama,
sufficiently.
tama lang. Okay. This year and I guess last year and maybe people that had an early adopters of gratitude,
Mm.
they think about that every day. And, today, Bianca, when you showed up, what are you most grateful for in your life?
Oh, to be in Sydney right now. It's terrible, but like it's true. Like I tell Ralph every day, like I'm so lucky I ended up here with you at the right time and I didn't even ask for it. Nagkataon lang I was here.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
hindi na ako bumalik. Hindi na ako, one year na ako nandito, guys. Wala akong plano magstay dito. Pero everyone's just telling me to not go back to the Philippines.
Yeah, stay put. Stay put.
I have a
Huwag
follow-up
na.
though. Oh,
There's a dog. Excited ako. There's a dog. Oh my gosh, you are a special one.
I
Look
told
how
you, Shari, her dog's special.
your eye.
I have a follow-up there though. This is something I'm
So
curious,
cute.
Bianca, because a lot of people have had virtual romances during COVID,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you were in a long distance before going to
Mm.
Sydney, right? What's
Mhm.
your advice for people that are in virtual romances right now? And whether you don't really see the end of the end of the pandemic so soon, but how do you keep it
The tunnel.
flourishing? Yeah,
Actually,
cute.
somebody said this to me when Ralph and I started dating. And then he was like, you both have to know where or when you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. So parang dapat may plano na kayo. Like no matter how long it takes, like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're gonna get there. And that's what kind of keeps you going. Now you do the work, you do the FaceTime calls, WhatsApp every day. And one thing also, use the time to really get to know each other. So like look for mga questions. Like one thing what we did was the 36 questions to love or something like that.
Oh yes, we've done
We've
that.
done that.
Yeah. And then we all have. And then I think my friend was also doing this with her boyfriend. They were long distance for mga 11 months then. They did ano yung card game na yun? We're not really strangers. And then she borrowed the School of Life like card deck on like romance questions or like things to ask your partner, mga ganyan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did something like super malabo. We don't have to put this on the episode. We can cut this out. But we were so bored. Yeah. I was like, oh, look what I found. I found my old GMAT reviewer. And I started flipping through it. Because he just finished his MBA. I don't know. So I was reading him math questions and he was solving it. I was super entertained naman. I was like, anything to bond. What is one thing you don't understand about yourself?
One thing I don't understand about myself. Hirap naman, hindi to pang quick question.
I know.
Okay, slow question.
Why I can't let go of a certain thing. I won't get into it na kung ano yun. Basta like parang I keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result and expecting the other person to change, but they're not gonna change. So parang I need to accept that and change myself because I can't change the other person.
I get exactly what
Mahirap
you mean.
yan. I think with
Yeah.
friendships and relationships or even work, it's like you want an outcome, but you can't get it there because
Yeah.
the people you're working with or dealing with are not changing.
Yeah. And one of our episodes, our guest was Margie Holmes, and then she said the only change you can expect is from yourself anyway. So hard to wrap your head around, but yeah. So what is something beautiful that you see every day?
My dog Willow.
I was gonna say cute.
You are beautiful. Such your eye. What is
My
the
dog
most
Willow in Ralph's face.
What?
My
Ralph's
dog
face.
Willow in Ralph's face.
Oh, perfect. Finish the statement. I will be content when blank.
I will be content when I'm content na eh.
That's
my favorite
fine.
answer. I like that answer.
I like these answers na. Tapos na eh. Okay na.
Oh, nga, I'm content
Okay
now.
na ako eh. I'm pretty happy now, like where I am with what I have, who I'm with.
Now down to the last two questions. Not quick fire, but it's our favorite question. This base favorite. What is love?
Love is being selfless about certain things. I can't say everything because, of course, like you have to protect yourself. But I think love is when you can when you put those person's needs before yours, or not just person, but like when you put that other thing before yourself, whatever it is.
Last question, Bianca. My personal favorite. Use 3 words to describe your life. 1 word for the past, 1 word for the present, and 1 word for the future.
Past, chaotic. Present, peaceful. Future, ang hirap. Healthy na lang, healthy.
Okay, that's a good
Healthy.
one. Sleep.
So that's it. Thank you so much, Bianca
Thank
and
you.
Willow. That was a good one. I feel inspired.